Hello everyone, this is Dr. Ashok Kumar from Government Women Engineering College, Ajmer. This is lecture 2 of horn antenna series and we are going to discuss about H-plane sectoral horn. In the previous lecture 1 of horn antenna series, we have discussed about the introduction, then types of horn antennas and E-plane sectoral horn antennas in terms of their geometry, in terms of their design process, then the directivity calculation. In this lecture 2 of this series, we have discussed about the geometry of H-plane sectoral horn, then directivity and one problem based on the H-plane sectoral horn. The contents of the lecture is prepared or developed with the help of this famous book. This is the geometry of H-plane sectoral horn, and we have to analyze H-plane view in a coordinate system as you can see in figure 4a and b. One important thing you can analyze that the field is radiated along the y direction, and the flaring, this is the flaring, the dimension of rectangular waveguide, this is the rectangular waveguide as we can see in the direction of H field while keeping the other parameters are constant. And again, similar to E-plane sectoral horn, we are taking one is a reference and other one is a observation point, or we can say it's a point at x dash. In the E plane we have considered is a y dash, and the largest dimension of the H plane sectoral horn is a1, and you can see from the center of H plane view has the equal dimension of a1 by 2 as you can see, and this is the we have considered as a spherical wavefronts as similar to the E-plane sectoral horn. And from the edges or center, this is the distance of rho 2 we have considered, and in the wavefront this is also having the equal, but this is the rho of h is the length of H plane sectoral horn, and this is the aperture. Here you can see, and this is the aperture hole, and this is the waveguide, and the variation is along the a direction. So we can say a cross b is the dimension of the waveguide, and a1 cross b is the dimension of the aperture as you can see. Other parameters of H plane sectoral horn is kept constant to form a H plane sectoral horn as you can see in this figure, and this is important, and we need to calculate some important parameter like rho2 value, and this is the apex angle, this is psi angle, and this is the in the H plane apex angle. So total angle is twice of psi of H, and we have to calculate the value of a1 also, and for the designing of the H plane sectoral horn. The fields at the aperture of the horn can be found treating the horn as a radial waveguide as forming imaginary apex, and this is the forming a wavefront we can say, and this is the imaginary apex, and this is the wavefronts. So it is forming a imaginary apex, and we have considered it's a x, y, and z coordinate, and here we have to analyze along the x direction, but in the E plane we have considered is a y, and this is y dash, here this is x, and this is x dash, and this is the del, this is the variation in this length, and which is equal to rho 2 plus del of at x dash point we need to calculate, and this is called as the quadratic phase term, and we can calculate. and we can also calculate the fields on the aperture, and this aperture field is Ex dash is equal to Hy dash is equal to 0, and so you can see here Ey dash in the along the variation of X dash you can see, this is the factor, and this is similar to the waveguide having radiated waveguide having the field in the TE10 mode, and this is the one multiplication uh, term which is known as the quadratic phase term e power minus jk tail of x dash. Similarly, this is the edge field variation. Here you can see again e power minus jk del x dash, and del x dash is equal to 1 by 2 x dash square upon rho 2, and rho 2 is equal to rho h cos psi h. So this is the important we have to analyze in the case of edge plane sectoral horn, and the derivation of edge plane sectoral horn for the quadratic phase term e की power minus j k del x can be calculated by using this figure 4b, and need to verify the equation 4d, which is equal to del x dash is equal to 1 by 2 x dash square upon rho 2. So we can easily calculate this value here. The term here E2 is a constant and neta is the intrinsic impedance in a free space. The primes coordinates are used to indicate the field as the aperture of the horn. Here you can see these are the primes x dash, y dash and z dash, and here we have to calculate the field on the aperture. The expression is similar to T10 mode of the rectangular waveguide with aperture dimension of A1 cross B, we can say, or A1 is always greater than B. The only difference is the complex exponential term which is used here to represent the quadratic phase variation of the field over the aperture of the horn, as we have discussed in the field equations. So the flare angle phi of h can be calculated by using this simple geometry. So we can take a tan of phi of h is equal to a1 by 2 upon rho 2. So here a1 by 2 upon rho 2, so phi h is equal to tan inverse a1 by 2 upon rho 2. So total flare angle twice of psi of h, this is the psi of h, so total flare angle is the psi of h that we can calculate. So we have to multiply the equation 4f by 2 factor, then we can calculate the total flare angle. So we need to calculate the quadratic phase term as we have discussed in equation 4b and c, and this is equation 4b and c as we have discussed. So we can easily calculate this quadratic phase term by considering again figure 4b, and we have assumed the imaginary apex, and as discussed in the starting point that we have considered aperture is so line source radiating cylindrical waves. So we can say it's a cylindrical wave fronts. As the wave travel in the outward direction, the constant phase fronts are cylindrical. At any point x dash at the aperture of the horn, the phase of the field will not be same as that of the x dash is equal to 0. So here you can see at any point on the aperture, suppose x dash is the point where we need to calculate the field, and this field is not equal to the x dash is equal to 0 point. As same thing we have discussed in the case of E plane, where y dash at any point y dash we need to calculate the field on the aperture which is not equal to the field at the point of y dash is equal to 0. So the same principle we have considered. So the only difference is here is the path travel. A designated del and the direction of x dash can be obtained by considering the same figure for the rectification of equation 4d, as we have written here the equation 4d. For any point of x dash, rho 2 plus del x dash का whole square is equal to rho 2 square plus x dash का square. Here you can see this is the rho 2 plus tail of x dash point का whole square is equal to rho 2 plus x dash का square. So we can take simple geometry. Then we can again simplified in terms of del x dash, and this is referred to as the spherical phase term. So using the binomial expansion and retaining only the first two terms of uh, equation 5a, then the equation 5a can be reduced to del x dash, which is equal to 1 by 2 x dash square upon rho 2. Here we can take only two terms, 1 plus x की power m minus 1, and this is equal to x dash 1 by 2 x dash upon rho 2 का whole square. So this if we have to multiply this equation by a phase factor k, then result is identical to the quadratic phase term, as we have discussed here. E की power minus j k del x dash, if we have to multiply del of x dash with the phase constant factor k, then we can get the quadratic phase term e की power minus j of k del of x dash. So this is important in the case of H plane. So designing of the H plane, we need to calculate the value of A1. If the value of A1 and rho 2 is given, then we need to calculate the flare angle, as similar to the E plane sectoral horn, and one problem is also solved in the E plane sectoral horn. And further we need to calculate the directivity as similar to the E plane sectoral horn. So here we have calculated the H plane sectoral horn directivity, and this can be computed by using four-step procedure. In step 1, we need to calculate the value of A, and A can be calculated A1 upon lambda root of 50 upon rho H upon lambda, where A1 is nearly or approximately equal to root of 3 lambda rho 2, but in the case of E plane sectoral horn, the value of this term is equal to root of twice lambda rho 1. So this is the important difference, and we have represented in a E plane A1 is equal to B1, but in the H plane we have represented because it's having the largest dimension as compared to the other. So A1 we have to calculate it in H plane, and B1 we have to calculate it in the E plane. By using equation 6a, we can find the corresponding value of GH, which is equal to 32 upon pi into A. So calculated value of A we can put, then we can get the value of GH. This value holds only for A less than 2. Then further we can calculate the directivity in the H plane, and which is the equation 6c, and which is equal to B upon lambda GH upon root of 50 rho H by lambda. So this is the important expression through which we can calculate the directivity of H plane sectoral horn. If the value of A as calculated in equation 6a is greater than or equal to 2, then the corresponding value of GH is calculated by using this figure. GH as the function of figure is represented in figure 5. So according to value of A, we can choose the value of GH from this graph, then we can put and we can calculate the directivity. And the value of rho h, here the in step 1 rho h is given, so value of rho h can be calculated by using simple this expression rho 2 square plus a1 by 2 ka whole square, and this we have calculated by considering the H plane view geometry as discussed in figure 4b. And we are taking one example to understand to calculate the directivity of H plane sectoral horn, and these are the parameters are given a, b, a1 and rho 2. Here you can see a1 is greater than b, here you can see, and we need to calculate dh in directivity in the H. So compute the directivity using 6c. The following parameters are evaluated by using equation 60. First, we need to calculate the value of rho h. Then, putting this value on equation 6a, then we can get the value of a is equal to 15.14, and this value is greater than 2. So, we have considered a is equal to 15.2 just near, and then after we are taking it's about 91.8. So this is the value we have to calculate it, and this is the value of GH, And by using step 3, I mean this step we have considered, so gh is known, b is given, rho h is known in terms of lambda. Then after we can calculate the value of dh, and the value of dh in the h plane sectoral horn equal to 8.33h, and we can also describe this in terms of dB, which is equal to 9.21. This is problem 2, and this problem is to test yourself. And similar, first we have to design a H plane sectoral horn with some parameters are given, and then after we need to calculate the directivity, aperture efficiency, largest phase difference, and delta of phi max between the center of the horn to aperture and any point on the horn aperture in the E plane. So this is problem to test yourself how we can design and how we can calculate their respective parameters in the case of H plane sectoral horn. In this lecture 2 of horn antenna series, we have discussed about the geometry, then after the design process, how we can calculate their respective parameters, then finally the directivity of H-plane sectoral horn antenna. Thank you everyone for watching this lecture. I hope this lecture is beneficial for you. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the pyramidal horn antenna, and this is the combination of E and H plane. A detailed analysis about pyramidal horn antenna will be discussed in lecture 3 of horn antenna series. Thank you again everyone for watching this lecture.